your kids out of public school. Take them out of, like, the fact that rolled off another mother's tongue, Miss Atterbury. Parents do not, what? Parents do not what? Don't tell me what I don't have the right to do.
So I'm clear, this bill will not allow parents to opt out of HIV/AIDS education. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we cannot opt out of that.
Correct.
Okay. Does this bill or do parents have the option to opt out of gender identity and expression, which starts in kindergarten?
Well, and let me check to see exactly what happens in kindergarten.
That's on page 21 of the Maryland Comprehensive Health Education Framework.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Just 1 second.
Kindergarten.
Okay. Kindergarten, gender identity expression. Kindergartners will learn to recognize a range of ways people identify and express their gender. They will recognize it's important to treat people of all gender identities and expressions with dignity and respect.
Okay, that's kindergarten. Okay, how about the 4th grade lesson on same gender, physical, and sexual attraction, which is on page 22?
4th grade, there is in the sexual orientation identity, they identify sexual orientation as a person's physical and or romantic attraction to an individual of the same and or different gender.
Okay, and how about page 23? Can parents opt out of the 6th grade lesson on sex assigned at birth?
So your pages are different than mine. So what grade are you looking at?
All right, I'm looking at, I read this page by page, the Mental Comprehensive Framework. Okay, so if the pages don't correspond with yours, I mean, the lessons are still the same. So this is 6th grade, the lesson on sex assigned at birth.
Sex assigned at birth, 6th grade.
1 second while I find 6th grade.
Find it, sis. And she's acting like.
I know. She's the one bringing it up. She don't know what she wrote.
6th grade, gender identity and expression. Define sex assigned at birth, gender identity, and gender expression. You cannot opt out of that.
Can't opt out.
They cannot opt out of that.
You can't.
Okay, can parents opt out of the 7th grade lesson on masturbation, oral, and anal sex?
Yes. You can opt out of that.
Okay, they can. See, the thing is that these issues have not been just raised in Carroll County. They've been raised in Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, and across the state of Maryland. You have parents that have religious and cultural beliefs that have been dismissed. And frankly, our job as parents is to protect our children. It is not up to the schools to teach our children things that don't align with our values. So if we're going to talk about diversity and inclusion, we need to look at the diversity of our communities and parents who do not want their children learning these lessons.
So that wasn't a question, but Madam Speaker, may I respond?
Yes.
So I'm, as you all know, and I know you're new, but I have 3 children, so I'm well aware of a parent's job, and that it's to protect and take care of your children.
So let's talk about it. I'm a mother, and I know you aren't aware since you're new, but I'm a mother. After she literally just said that she is advocating for a 6th grade curriculum that talks about masturbation, oral sex, and anal sex.
Yeah, and so this infuriates me because there are Marylanders now that I talk to every day that says this is not happening. Where is this happening in Maryland? This is not happening in Maryland. And I just want to blast this. You guys, please share this. Like, share, and subscribe. My issue with Mrs. Vanessa Atterbury is the way that she's kind of talking to, LaToya, like, sorry, no, parents cannot opt out. First of all, if I was a teacher, I would not want to teach this to somebody else's child. You have to be a pervert, Miss Vanessa Atterbury, to even find this to be like, when you're writing the lesson plan, what are you thinking? What's going through your head?
What? I don't know.
Disgusting.
I do not understand it. The only thing that I can see is in Rebel Without a Reason is saying indoctrination. This is what they want. They want these kids to be pansexual. They want everyone to be like that. They want to get rid of mothers and fathers and traditional biblical families, and everything just be haywire. And they know that if they teach it in the schools, if they start at this level, there is a greater chance of it spreading on up to adulthood.
And I am so hopeful that President Trump keeps his commitment to defund states like this. And KJ, you and I, we pay for school anyway.
Right.
Like, defund states like this, because this is a type of foolishness, the type of crap that you subject your teachers to teaching. I'm sorry, if you are a teacher in the public school system and you want to talk to a third grader or fourth grader or kindergartner about anything having to do with their genitals and their parts and their sex life, you need to go seek help, because you just might be a pedophile.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what they are.
Ugh.
And here she is again.
And I do that every day with my 13-year-old, my 11-year-old, and my 10-year-old daughter. And what I will say is that I find it refreshing that you are talking about diversity and inclusion. So thank you for that.
So after she literally just talked about 6th grade getting butt plugs, dildos, oral sex, and all this type of stuff, she, again, here we are, it's the same, her hill to die on.
Yeah, and her vibe is off. Like, I'm sorry, sis, that you don't have any more meaningful conversation with your 10-year-old. I feel really bad for them. But there's plenty of things that I talk to about my kids, and that is probably one that is not, it doesn't come up at the dinner table every night, dum-dum.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need a curriculum on it. It's amazing to me that the people who want to talk to kids about how to have sex, they've been having sex for thousands of years. It's amazing how that thing just kind of works itself out on its own. You don't need to teach them.
Right. And another thing, what about people who believe in waiting until marriage, who are teaching that to their children? What about that? And then you come in and you're teaching this, that they can have not only sex with the opposite sex, but with the same sex, you know, with themselves all over the place. I mean, this is why people, you know what community stood up against this here in Maryland? It was the Muslim community, actually. They have a case going to the Supreme Court because they said it should be unconstitutional to not allow them to opt out for religious circumstances. Now, they've gone from wanting to teach this in school to now you must teach it in school, and your kids you can't even opt out.
I'm sorry, KJ. Like, I don't even want to opt out. I don't want to opt in. Like, get it out of the school or defund the school. Defund the school. This Atterbury chick is just, she's off. Like, and in her aura, it's like, I have, a master's degree and a doctorate, and I talk to my kids about what kind of sex they're like and what gender they want to be. You freaking weirdo. Oh, you weirdo. I don't care how cute you think you are, sis. It's gross.
Oh, yeah. She's one of these nasty nice. I call them nasty nice. You know, these passive aggressive, they try to, oh, I'm so nice, oh, I got this high pitched voice, and and I don't know, teach your kids about same-sex stuff and pansexual and those. This is what it is.
My kids, I have 3 kids and they're all pansexuals. Oh, really, you freaking weirdo? I wonder how you became the parent of 3 kids. It wasn't being pansexual. Only one kind of way make a baby, sis.
No, they don't believe that. Here she is at the end.
What I also will say is the courts, the federal district court in 2023 denied in Montgomery County, not an on-point case, but similar. And then the higher court, the Fourth Circuit, said that parents do not have a right to challenge a lack of an opt-out policy. So that is pending in the Supreme Court right now. They said that that is not a right.
So you're making it clear that it's not a right for parents to have a decision in their child's well-being, their child's education. Parents should always have the autonomy to opt out of any and every lesson especially that's in this comprehensive framework. So
take your kids out of public school. Take them out of, like, the fact that that rolled off another mother's tongue, Miss Atterbury. Parents do not what? Parents do not what? Don't tell me what I don't have the right to do.
I was just about to say, can you imagine you going to parent counseling and you're talking about your child, something that you don't allow them to do, and the teacher is telling you, no, you need to allow this. That just doesn't even make sense.
Hey,
it doesn't make sense.
It's a spirit here in Maryland. Something is going on. KJ, I'll tell you a short, brief story. I went to the dentist one time, and y'all, I almost lost my religion, and I love God. But I asked the dentist about a procedure that she was going to do, and her response to me was, I know what's best for your child.
Oh,
I lost it, y'all. I lost it. I lost my everlasting mind when you tell. Even if she probably do, don't tell me you know what's best for my child, sweetheart. Don't tell me that.
But that makes sense. I'm the same way at the doctor's office. They try, as the child gets older, they try to get you out the room every way they can. And I'm just like, ask him, well, why do you keep trying to get me out of the room? It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange to me. It's just like, I could see if it was a situation where, I don't know. I just don't even see it. I mean, I don't have that type of relationship. We talk about everything, and and it's not like I don't believe in speaking to your kids about sex. I do, but there should be nothing that somebody is going to say to my child that they can't say to me.
And it's such a small portion, like relationship. We have become so over sexualized. How about you teach your kids about healthy, loving relationships?
Yeah.
Teaching your kids about what a good friendship looks like and a bad friendship. Teach your kids about money. Teach your kids about finance. Teach your kids, like, there's so many other things to teach your kids about than sex. It's amazing how they just kind of figure the whole sex thing out. They don't need a lot of help, actually. Yeah, it's so crazy to me that they're trying to push the parents out. But then if anything happens to your boy, anything happens to my 3 kids, the first thing that you're doing is you're calling me. The first thing that you're doing is you're blaming me. The first thing that you're doing, like you don't get to undo this. If y'all are, the government is a terrible parent, y'all.
Yeah. And guess what? Some of these teachers are too. Yes. We're finding out more and more that there are these teachers that are pedophiles.
Yep.
And I don't know who these people are that are hiring them. I have this one here. This is just out recently. This is a teacher out in California. And she was found to have been sexually assaulting her kids. Look at this. It's real quick.
That I try to push into my classroom and my students.
This same elementary school teacher, who was once named Teacher of the Year, now straight up admits she sexually assaulted 2 preteen boys who were once her students.
Is that true?
Yes. Investigators found one of the boys' photos in her wallet when she was arrested. They also found an overwhelming amount of disturbing evidence, including explicit texts, photos, and even videos. So let's get right into it. The defendant we're focusing on today is 35-year-old Jacqueline Ma, who at the time of her arrest was an elementary school teacher. Jacqueline began teaching 5th and 6th grade students back in 2023. All of this happened in National City, California, which is just south of San Diego. In 2022, she was actually honored by the San Diego County Office of Education for her exemplary work as a teacher. She even appeared on the local news there to talk.
So first of all, who is hiring these people?
Huh.
I wouldn't have hired her. Number one, I don't care how Asian she is. The nose ring, she got different colored hair, all this type of stuff. Folks, where do we lose common sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not trying to say you have to be, you know, clean cut and everything, but it's just some stuff is just not professional for me for school. You look like a kid.
Yeah, or authoritative. Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
necessarily her professionalism, but the first thing that you have to do with children, if you are not trying to abuse them, is set boundaries. You always know an abuser, a predator. They start breaking boundaries to where they try to create some equality between them and a child. And I saw Candace Owens say this the other day. Like, what about a 15-year-old boy's physique? What about a 13-year-old boy's physique like excites you as like a grown woman? Like, you are a freaking weirdo. You're a pervert.
Yeah. Yeah, but they keep doing it. They keep putting these people in the schools. And I don't understand why. I mean, when you see these all of these reports of these, you know, activist teachers, you know, out here with the pride flags all in their offices, and they're trying to teach the kids on the slide about LGBTQ and transing and all this type of stuff. They all look the same. They got all these minotaur rings, nose rings, the different colored hair, you know, they're looking crazy and stuff. Who's hiring these people?
Yeah. They're all
Them.
You're trying to break down the barriers. Like, if I find myself trying to be one with a kid, then it makes it easier for me to kind of feel like I can violate them. The first thing that any adult does with a child that is not trying to abuse the child is start setting boundaries. Like, start saying, I'm the adult, you're the child. I have responsibilities in the relationship, which means to protect you at all costs. You have to listen to me. Like, those are the types of things. And so when you find them starting to dress kind of weird, like, it to me, it's red flags.
Yeah. And so this is why I'm so excited that Linda McMahon, she's going through the confirmation process now. She is, of course, President Trump's nominee for the to lead the Department of Education.
Yep.
And she is not playing around. I mean, she had her opening hearing. Her hearing was today, I believe. And I'm not sure, do we have clip 12 really quickly? Where she talked about what she's going to do if she is confirmed.
Public colleges are beset by violent crime on campuses every year. And most tragically, student suicide rates have dramatically increased over the last 2 decades. We can do better. We can do better for the elementary and junior high school student by teaching basic reading and mathematics. For the college freshman facing censorship or anti-Semitism on campus. And for parents and grandparents who worry that their children and grandchildren are no longer taught American values and true history. In many cases, our wounds are caused by the excessive consolidation of power in our federal education establishment. So what's the remedy? Fund education freedom, not government-run systems. Listen to parents, not politicians. Build up careers, not college debt. Empower states, not special interests. Invest in teachers, not Washington bureaucrats. If confirmed as secretary, I will work with Congress to...
Yeah. There it is.
So, KJ, this is so funny to me, y'all. I'm sorry. I love the way that he just pulling all them white folks in there. He don't really care about race, skin color. He's not trying to meet no quota. He don't care what y'all think. And every last person in there has been wiping the floor with this these hearings.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't care about color.
I don't care about color.
And I will say I've come a long way, because when my younger days, I was one of these pro-black, people, black all the way, all time black, that blackly bliggity black. That's who I was.
Me too.
I'm realizing, all skin folk ain't kin folk.
Oh, no.
And they don't think like we don't share the same values all the time.
I just want the job done.
Yes. And I want the job done. I want to make sure you have good values. You're not coming in with all this crazy stuff. And that's it.
That's it. That's it.
But sometimes that doesn't come in the same skin color, race, or ethnicity, and all that type of stuff. And I don't care.
I don't care. I'm like, we hired this man to do the job. I don't care if he hires a bunch of green people. I just love that every single person that goes before these committees are representing him and representing what the American people voted for to the utmost. Like they are giving it to them. They are remaining consistent. They're staying on message. They're not frazzled. And they recognize that ultimately the goal is to make a better America, to make America great again. And I love it. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Absolutely.
He said put herself out of a job is what the goal is.
I know, because they want to get rid of it. And that's what they need to do. I mean, and I think we talked about this before. The Department of Education is a new the government department. I think it started in the 1970s.
Yep, it did.
Compared to the other departments, parts of government, it's fairly new. And it has been nothing but terrible since they pushed it in. So I'm looking for that. I'm excited about them getting rid of it, because these people need to be stopped.
For sure.
The last clip I want to play for you guys, this is what they do. This is the type of stuff they're trying to push on our kids. This is clip 11.
Today's virtual roundtable is entitled Identifying and Disrupting Your Whiteness, a workshop addressing power and privilege toward anti-racist spaces. The term whiteness refers to race privilege, a way of seeing the world and a set of cultural practices that are usually unmarked and unnamed. Whiteness is often unrecognized, particularly by people who identify as white, but pervasive in American society and a barrier to inclusion and equity. This EquiLearn virtual roundtable, facilitated by Equity Fellow Dr. Sharon Rad, offers a space to examine one's personal, local, and immediate connections to whiteness and privilege, and consider how to identify and disrupt rather than perpetuate them.
Now see, now that's a black one for you. I don't have anything to do with that.
Y'all, white people, do you see how people are talking about you, about a feature that you had no choice of creating? Like, you didn't make yourself white, and you see how these people have the audacity to accuse you of being racist? Like, they are pulling the switcheroo. Now, mind you, this is an old clip, but I still see it done today. Like, I still see people talking about white people like you're just allowed to openly discriminate against a whole race of people. And our founding fathers said that we are all endowed by our creator. And so for you guys to allow this, I mean, I don't.
Here's the kicker. That's not an old clip. That is part of a program funded by the Department of Education. They granted the person who created that, they granted the Department of Education last year, granted them $8 million. They paid that left-wing NGO. That woman has an NGO, which promotes the idea that America is a white supremacist society and demands that you must disrupt your whiteness. That's what NGO is responsible for that. And that tape is current. That tape was being distributed to 7,000 school districts in the Midwest, folks.
Are you
In the
serious? Are
Yes.
you like, for me, white people, like, do you just hate your children? I mean, like, I just don't understand for you guys to not be like screaming from the mountaintop, and you're the majority. Imagine what happens when you become the minority. It's going to look like South Africa right now. You know what's happening in South Africa, and why President Trump is cutting off funding there is because they are literally taking property rights from white people because of the color of their skin. They're literally taking land. They're taking everything from white people because of their whiteness. So if you think the pendulum can't swing too far, you keep allowing stuff like this.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good for anybody, because this does not create a amiable society. It does not create a society it creates division.
Yes.
It doesn't create an America that is unified. And when we are not united, then our adversaries who are outside of the US, they can then take control.